First thing, need everyone to put their cell phones on vibrate. 4, 3, 2.
Welcome to Tucson Open Mic, where we amplify your voice. We've been on hiatus, but we're back. And today we have a special guest, and she's not a special guest. She's always special to me, but it's my daughter, Jamila, who's here to talk to us about a special Black Lives Matter Tucson and Tucson Second Chance Bail Fund event called Black Pussy Power.
Black Pussy Power.
Say that. Black Pussy Power.
Black Pussy Power.
You know, and that's and you know the thing that's such a provocative way of bringing this issue to the forefront, which is about Black womanhood and celebrating who we are as women. My name is Lola Rainey. I am a community organizer, activist, lawyer, writer, poet. So many hats I think I wore. Amplify those voices and bring that power into a single place, a single night. Who knows what's possible? Keep hoping they'll call me back. I want to find out about this program they have.
Lola Rainey's many hats have all served a single mission, making sure that every voice is heard and that justice prevails. It's a mission that took her into the courtroom as an attorney advocating for change, and it's a mission that ultimately led her to leave the law in search of something more.
Be a person of color and go into the Pima County courts with your more than likely white judge, more than likely white public defender, more than likely white prosecutor, and your more than likely majority white jury. And you tell me, does that feel like justice? Is it still raining, Daddy? Stop. He can't hear. Here, take this little one. Daddy, take this little one.
Okay.
This is better.
Lola's passion for justice has roots in the injustice of the past.
See, we didn't have this when I was a kid.
Her parents grew up in Texas under Jim Crow laws that enforced racial segregation.
The signs of color and white, well, I was used to it, so therefore I knew what not to do.
I remember once my dad was out in the field plowing, and this preacher came out, all starched and on, and my dad, he was talking to my dad, and he says to my dad, well, I think God has a heaven for white and a heaven for black. I didn't know the Bible, but I knew that was wrong, and I wanted my dad to say no. He just said, yes, sir. Okay, you can turn the light on.
Okay, let me see.
I think that one should say no, yes. If you disagree, why don't you just disagree? You might not be liked for it, but disagree.
That's the only thing left. I need to fix this.
Growing up in Tucson, Lola learned early the power of being willing to disagree.
I was the only Black kid in a predominantly white environment. We did have some Hispanic kids, but mostly we had white kids here. One of my friends, she got beat up. She used to get beat up by her father because she played with me. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about some really nasty, hateful white people. And I don't know where that comes from. That type of cruelty, that type of hatefulness that left scars on people. And I have met very few adult women had that type of heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pops, for coming in. I love mythology. I love stories of these heroic people who did things, who changed the world.
One of the librarians, she told me, she's gonna be something some of these days. She's gonna be important. I said, really? Because she loved to read, you know.
Lola's love of stories and longing to better the world led her to journalism. She dreamed of becoming a foreign correspondent, but then life intervened.
I'm like, well, what can I do? I'm married, I have a baby, and I can't do the work that I wanted to do. And someone said, why don't you apply to law school? And I got in. So there it is. That was a really hard thing to do, to live in that world, to become that person, because it was so different from the world that I came from. Because I'm from a working class family. I mean, I didn't know any lawyers. What did I know about what I was signing up for? I didn't.
As a city and county prosecutor, and later in her private practice, which focused on civil rights, Lola came to see the law's power to change society. But she also bore witness to the dark side of her profession.
Racial bias in sentencing. I think that's a problem nationally. It's a problem here in Arizona. I'm really concerned that we're not doing enough to address the disparities in how people are sentenced based on the color of their skin. Black defendants who are convicted of drug offenses spend 25% longer time in prison for doing the same crimes as other people. That's insane.
In her late 30s, Lola started losing her vision to a rare eye disease. That was when she walked away from her career to carve out a different kind of life.
The privileges of and approval of and privileges of the ruling classes. Why are we fighting for that? Is that what we're fighting for? If that's what we're fighting for, I don't want it.
Understand, you can do that because we fought to give you the access to, things that you didn't have access to before.
This time, Lola would fight for justice as an activist. With her daughters Najima and Tiara, Lola started the Tucson Second Chance Community Bail Fund, which aims to address the inequities of the cash bail system.
So they need other people to attack it. I attack it in my way.
Cash bail can create a vicious circle in which people who can't afford their bail may lose their jobs and homes while jailed, which can push them deeper into poverty. It's a system that even the Justice Department has called unconstitutional.
It's the criminalization of poverty. I am working to help free people who are too poor to post their own bail to get out so they can get on with their lives, defend themselves in courts, and hopefully keep their families together while their cases are pending. Hi, how are you doing today?
Whether she's producing a podcast from her kitchen or protesting with Black Lives Matter Tucson, Lola is calling for change, even if that change creates discord or discomfort.
And that type of thinking, that second-class citizen type of thinking, feeds into this narrative that cops don't have to be responsible. You are supposed to have gone through training. When you approach me, you're supposed to know how to approach me in a way that protects you, but also protects me. Why do I have to do all this extra stuff to make sure that you're scared behind doesn't pull a gun?
My thought is, what happened? Why did it stop feeling like a community? I sort of came alongside to support the youngsters because I love what they were doing. I wanted to lend whatever assistance I could to that effort. But I'm always having to step back. I'm always having to remind myself to step back because my views and my way of doing things doesn't always mesh well with the younger version of the struggle.
When we first met her, she was like, you know what, Iris, if you're gonna do this, you have to do it. You can't just do half of it because these communities need you and you have to be present. And so if you don't wanna do that, you need to get out. And literally that's what she told me. It made me realize that I couldn't be lax about how I was doing my work. I really had to step up and be present as well. The strength that she has when she does get behind a cause or a community, we need to somehow preserve that and pass that on. It's like, it's okay to fight. It's totally okay to do it.
Sometimes I wish she would pull back, but then I look and say, Lord, you know her better than I do.
Justice does not require a law degree. It requires courage. If you're really truly making a difference in the world, it's because you're loving people and you're creating an opportunity for them to be their best selves. You're pushing them and you're rooting for them. You want them to win. And I want people to win.